What is up, my friends? My name's Mackenzie. I am a designer who did learn how to code. So in this video, I want to share my thoughts on the topic that's been going around the industry as of lately, and that is, should designers learn how to code? So my views on this subject have changed quite a bit over the past year or so. Before, if someone would have asked me, do you think designers need to learn how to code? I would have said probably yes. And the reason for that is twofold. One, I do think it is really beneficial to understand how your designs are going to be implemented, because that can influence your design decisions. That will influence like the difficulty it takes to create your design in code, which can influence like the amount of time it takes for your product or your business to ship a new feature. All of those play into each other, and it's something that you have to think about. So for example, I work for a company called Coach, with Coach.com, and we are a pretty small team. It's just a small team of 5, made up of 2 developers as well as myself as the designer. So we are limited in what we can do. So that is a very real business constraint that I have to factor into my designs, because I could design something one way, but since I know it would take like 4 weeks to implement that, I could rethink it and try to come up with a design solution that would achieve the same result, all while taking a quarter of the time to implement. Therefore, we would be able to ship that feature much faster, which would mean we can get to more features and better stuff and all that good stuff. But yeah, just understanding like how your designs are going to be implemented is very, very beneficial. And the other reason I would have said yes to designers needing to learn how to code is because honestly, that's the path I took, and I think it benefited me, so I kind of think it would work well for others. But I don't really feel as strongly on that anymore. So if we back up, the reason I learned how to code was because kind of necessity. So I had a bunch of ideas and sites I wanted to create and I wanted to launch, but I didn't know anybody who could help me or partner up or collab with me to create that. And also I didn't have any money. I was completely broke, so I couldn't hire anybody to build it for me. And this was before tools like WEBFLOW existed. So I did what I had to do, and I taught myself how to code in order to launch my ideas. So for me, I never learned how to code just for the sake of learning how to code. It was always as a means to be able to launch my ideas. And I think a designer could achieve that same thing using a tool like WEBFLOW without knowing how to code. But I really think it comes down to like you individually and your goals. If you're very interested in learning how to code, then I say by all means go after that and learn how to do that. I don't think knowing how to code would be a negative. I could only see that as a positive in your career. But if you're a designer and you just want to be able to build websites yourself or prototype stuff or all of that, use something like WEBFLOW and you can do that visually in a visual manner and achieve that same result as if you were going to learn all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and do that yourself. So on the other side, if you're a designer who's creating stuff for the web, I do think you should learn the basics of like HTML and CSS. But beyond that, I don't think you need to worry about it, honestly. And the reason I would suggest learning the basics is because like it would give you a better idea of how to lay out your project and how your projects would either scale up or scale down in terms of mobile first or responsive design. Understanding like the HTML structure and like the block model and like the basics of CSS and such would be very helpful. And that is actually something I'm planning on teaching more on is like the basics of HTML and CSS, because I think that's super helpful. Even if you use a powerful tool like WEBFLOW in order to build your sites, using WEBFLOW, you're still kind of like coding in a way, but it's in a visual manner. So instead of writing out a div and then like putting everything inside that div, you would just drag out a div block and then put your like an image or whatever content inside of that div. But to do that, you kind of need to understand like the structure of how everything should be laid out. So all that to say, back to the question, should designers learn how to code? I would say yes, it would be beneficial if you want to do that, but is it absolutely necessary? No, I don't think it is. So yeah, in the end, it really just comes down to you and your goals. You can still be a fantastic designer even if you don't know how to code. There are tools like WEBFLOW that you can use to actually build out your sites and actually launch them without knowing all the intricacies and stuff that goes into coding. So in that case, you don't need to learn how to code in order to be able to launch websites. And also, I don't like the whole broad strokes, like the entire group of designers needing to learn how to code. I think all that is much more individualized than people say, and it depends on their situation and their goals in their career and in their life. So saying that all designers have to learn how to code is just a bit silly, in my opinion. But yeah, I am curious to hear your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you think it's okay if designers don't learn how to code, or do you feel strongly on the other side that designers should have to learn how to code? I've definitely been on both ends of the spectrum in this subject, so I am curious to hear where you stand. Leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. But yeah, that is all for this one, my friends. Until next time, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.